The dashboard clock glowed 2:17 a.m. The road ahead nothing but black asphalt stitched with dim white lines. I was alone in the car, save for the hum of the engine and the faint rustle of wind against the windows. The radio crackled to life with a sudden burst of static, and then a song began. A melody I had never heard, yet the words slipped from my lips without thought. I tried to laugh it off, shaking my head. What the hell? The voice was mine, unfamiliar yet intimate, each syllable fitting the warped harmony perfectly. The song itself was brittle, like glass refracting light. The notes trembled, detuned in odd intervals. Backing vocals whispered behind them in voices just out of reach, warping in and out of comprehension. The streetlights flickered as the chorus swelled, each pulse of electricity synchronized with the rhythm. I pressed my foot harder against the brake, though the car coasted on an empty stretch. Shadows from the trees along the roadside stretched and twitched like elongated fingers, bending toward me, retreating, then creeping closer again. I could feel the vibration of the engine responding to the low bass line, subtle at first, then shaking the car seats, resonating through my ribcage. The lyrics, mine yet not mine, began describing trivial things, things only I would do. Hands on the wheel, knuckles white/eyes too wide in the flickering light. My breath caught. I wasn't just singing the song, I was living it. My hands tightened reflexively on the steering wheel, and as I did, the next line echoed exactly what I was about to do. Turn left at the shadowed bend. / let the silence guide your trembling steps. The road stretched ahead, empty, but the headlights illuminated a shape. Something crouched at the shoulder, still as stone, but I felt its gaze burrow into me. The song continued, subtly warping. A distorted bridge now, notes bending as if the radio itself were bending reality. Every time I blinked, the shape moved closer, though I never caught its progress in my peripheral vision. Eyes meet eyes with what waits unseen / your heartbeat thrums between the spaces in between. I slammed my foot down instinctively, the car skidding slightly as the tires whispered over gravel. The shadows stretched to meet the wheel arches, almost caressing the paint, and in the rearview mirror, I saw something or someone. Perched on the back seat, fleeting, vanishing before I could focus. The song grew louder, more insistent, the harmonics slipping into dissonance. Each chorus repeated itself with subtle alterations. Words I hadn't sung before now flowed naturally, predicting my thoughts, recounting memories I didn't remember sharing with anyone. You remember the attic / the night you whispered her name / now follow the tune, follow the frame. I shivered. The attic, my childhood home. I had never been back since the fire. How could the song know? I turned the wheel onto a narrow side road, compelled, though I didn't remember planning this. The song shifted again, a minor key now, tremulous, as if the radio speaker were alive, feeding off my panic. The lights along the street flared with every beat, casting stuttering shadows that matched the rhythm of my pulse. The shapes of trees warped, their trunks bending inward like fingers, guiding me toward a broken-down farmhouse ahead. The lyrics grew more insistent, almost instructive. Step through the threshold. / the floorboards remember your name / the dust will part. The walls will frame. I slowed, gripping the wheel, sensing the air change. The song seemed to emanate not from the radio anymore, but from the very space around me. The wind, the squeak of the tires, the shudder of the car body. Even the headlights reflected something in the windows, movement, silhouettes that weren't mine, yet mirrored me perfectly. Lift the latch, / feel the chill / every echo calls you still. The farmhouse door loomed. My body moved on its own. The song now crooned in multiple voices, layered, overlapping, singing not just the words, but the very motions of my fingers as they grasped the door handle. My reflection in the dusty glass was wrong. Eyes wider, mouth too thin, hands trembling like mine but with nails I didn't recognize. I opened the door. The air inside was cold, unnatural, smelling of earth and charred wood. The radio in the car, still parked on the overgrown driveway, continued its song faintly through the open windows, though I was no longer in the car. Each lyric recounted my movements before they happened, my breaths, my stumbles. Here you are, slash where memories bleed, slash where the song was always yours to heed. A voice, not mine, yet familiar, spoke softly from the shadows. We've been waiting. The melody seemed to answer it, twisting higher, warping, folding in on itself. The walls vibrated in time with the bass line. Dust trembled in the air, falling in slow motes around me. I realized the song wasn't just following me. It had existed before me. I was never hearing it for the first time. I remembered, or thought I did, the fire, the attic, the record player I never owned. A small, scratched vinyl with a song my parents never taught me. A song I had hummed in my sleep long before I knew its name. The lyrics weren't just familiar, they were mine, written for me by something older, something patient, something waiting. The shadows in the corners of the room stretched into figures, tall and thin, humming along with the radio now faintly drifting in from the distance, bending their faces toward me. I tried to scream, but the song caught my voice and wove it into its next verse. Sing along, slash it was always this way, slash your memory, our melody, slash never ending, replay. The lights flickered and I understood. I had not come to the song. The song had come to me always, waiting through empty bedrooms, dark roads, and cold attics. Each note a pulse in time with my life, a reflection of my footsteps, my choices. The radio had never played a new song. It had only ever revealed what had already been there, hidden beneath my skin, embedded in my memory before memory itself. I stepped further into the room. The song swelled, folding reality around me. And in the chorus, I heard my own voice, but older, whispering to me from the walls. We've been waiting for you. Now you sing with us. The radio back on the road, miles away, crackled once and went silent. The night held only the song and me, a voice among many, humming the words I had always known and always would. The fog ahead parted to reveal a road sign with my childhood address. My hands gripped the steering wheel tighter, knuckles white against the worn leather. The highway was abandoned, nothing but the hum of the engine, the wet hiss of tires on asphalt, and the intermittent flicker of my headlights cutting through the thick, crawling fog. I should have turned around, but something deeper than curiosity compelled me to slow down. Rain had left the pavement slick and black, reflecting my headlights in long, wavering streaks. The fog clung to the edges of the road, swirling unnaturally as if alive, curling around the tires, licking at the wheel wells. The air smelled damp and metallic, with a faint, inexplicable tang that reminded me of the basement in my childhood home. I had not thought about that place in years, not consciously, but the smell unlocked a memory that felt both intimate and alien. I parked the car just short of the sign, the engine rumbling low, almost in protest. The sign was old, wooden, its paint flaking into unreadable scratches. Yet beneath the peeling layers, I could see the letters of my old street name, the number still unmistakably mine. My pulse hammered against my ribs. How could it be here? That house had burned down decades ago, erased from the town's map, replaced by nothing but empty lots and wind-whipped grass. I stepped out into the fog, boots squelching in the shallow puddles forming along the shoulder. My breath hung in the air in white clouds, trembling with every exhale. The mist seemed denser here, almost viscous, clinging to my hair and jacket, muffling the distant thrum of the highway behind me. The sign didn't just mark a location, it felt like a beacon, a summons. As I approached, I noticed the details that defied reason. The wood was impossibly weathered, yet the grain twisted unnaturally, forming faint symbols that shimmered when caught in the headlights. Letters shifted beneath my gaze, sometimes spelling out my name, sometimes fragments of sentences I did not recall writing. You left me behind, remember me, and an unnerving scrawl. The door is open. I reached out, fingertips brushing the damp surface. The wood was warm, alive. A pulse ran through it, synchronous with the distant, echoing thrum of my own heart. I stumbled back, a sudden vertigo washing over me, and the road behind me stretched impossibly long, as if the fog had lengthened the world itself. My headlights flickered, shadows elongating and twisting in the mist, suggesting shapes that weren't really there, or perhaps they were. A memory forced itself into my mind unbidden. The basement of my childhood home, the smell of wet cement, the low hum of the heater, the sound of laughter that wasn't mine. I had buried it, convinced it was a dream, a fragment of some imagined childhood. But standing here, the fog whispering around me, I realized that memory had never been mine alone. Something had lived in that basement, something I had left behind. The sign quivered under my gaze, letters sliding like water. A small metal hook protruded from its edge, holding what looked like a photograph. I leaned closer, heart thudding. The image was old, black and white, frayed at the corners, and unmistakably me. But I was small, 7 or 8 years old, staring out from a doorway I did not recognize. Behind me, the shadows seemed to move, elongating into shapes that mimicked my posture, laughing in silent, grotesque imitation. I stumbled back, tripping over my own feet, and when I righted myself, the fog had shifted again. The road behind me no longer curved toward the familiar highway but narrowed into a twisting path lined with gnarled trees that had never existed there. Their branches arched overhead, forming jagged silhouettes that scratched against the night sky. The road sign now pointed down that path, arrows etched beneath the address, guiding me forward. I should have turned away. I wanted to, but the fog had me in its grip, and my own curiosity, my guilt, pulled me like a tide. Step by step, I moved toward the darkness. The symbols on the sign glowed faintly as if absorbing the mist, forming a language I somehow understood. It spoke of lost time, hidden rooms, promises unkept, and the weight of memories I had tried to forget. The path narrowed further, the asphalt giving way to dirt and roots, and I began to notice the small details. Footprints, too small to be mine, pressed into the soft earth. And here, scattered among them, were toys. My toys, old dolls, a worn baseball glove, a toy truck half buried, all soaked and clean, as if placed there yesterday. They were too precise, too deliberate, a breadcrumb trail through a forest that should not exist. I called out, voice trembling, "Who's there?" My words dissolved into the fog. A whisper answered, impossibly close, yet distant, sliding through my mind rather than my ears. "You left me." The words hit me like ice. I stumbled, vision blurring as the fog thickened, folding space. The headlights dimmed, then flared, revealing the silhouette of a house. My house, standing intact, perfectly preserved, as if it had never burned. Smoke did not rise from the chimney. The windows were black, yet I could feel eyes watching, waiting. A door creaked open slowly, a hollow invitation. Something in me screamed to stop, to run back to the car, but the path had vanished behind me. Only the sign remained, its surface now smooth, letters curling into a grin. "Come home." I remember stepping forward, drawn by a gravity older than memory. The mist parted like curtains, revealing the porch, the doorway wide, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and burnt wood. I crossed the threshold, and the fog swallowed me whole. I woke, or thought I did, in my car. The headlights illuminated a sign I didn't recognize, far from any map I knew. Rain-slicked asphalt stretched endlessly, and the fog pressed against the glass like a living thing. I shook, heart hammering, eyes scanning the darkness. For a moment, the world felt normal, until I saw it. A small toy, my old baseball glove, sitting on the passenger seat. Damp, worn, and unmistakably mine. And beneath it, carved faintly into the leather, was a single line of text I had never written, yet understood perfectly. "We're still waiting." The engine hummed. The fog shifted. The highway ahead was empty, but I knew it would not let me leave, not entirely. Somewhere, in the mist, the sign waited, guiding me home, forever.